I don't want to give you something else to panic about, but are your bridges and roads in your town climate change proof? Are they? Seriously. You got to know. President Trump is expected to unveil the $1.5 trillion infrastructure plan that he talked about often on the campaign trail. And for some reason, we all went, yay, I think. The extensive repair list has apparently been prioritized, and the bill has been tallied now. The cracked bridges, the crumbling roads, the rusted railways, and the climate change threat assessment. Wait, the climate change threat assessment? I knew that Obama had forgotten something because he was supposed to take care of all of the other crumbling roads and bridges. Remember when we passed the first $1 trillion stimulus? Now it's $1.5 trillion. The federal government is not going to have to pay the $1.5 trillion for the infrastructure improvements, but according to the New York Times, this is the very least of their concern here. In an alarming story over the weekend, non-specific engineers and researchers say Trump's plan is not taking into account the many parts of the country that are increasingly vulnerable to rising waters and other threats from warming of the planet. Stu, you're a global warming guy. What parts? I mean, I would imagine Miami, because that's if there's a melting of an ice, then the water would go up around the coastline, which isn't happening. Where else would they be?
We're all in danger, Glenn. No matter where you are, no matter what time it is, you will die from climate change.
Really?
That's the fact.
Okay, it's kind of sounds just like a bad episode, and this is saying something. A bad version of Westworld with Kevin Costner. Not Westworld, Waterworld. Waterworld.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's about 6 months from now. That was
really
to tell the story.
Man, of science haters in the White House. Mm-hmm. It's horrible. They could have, budgeted with a $1.5 trillion. Could we get some floaties? Maybe a snorkel or two for the women and children? I mean, the humanity. Please, people. According to the Times story, questioning the risk that America faces from global warming and rolling back climate change regulations is one of the Trump administration's defining regulatory principles. The climate change crowd is beside themselves today with grief that their alarm is not front and center in the government's infrastructure planning. If we could have just wasted even $500 billion on this. They say if we don't consider now how global warming and climate change is going to destroy our bridges, roads, and drown our airports, then it's going to cost, our country more money in the future. Well, I guess. If the water's starting to come for the airport, I think we'll get on that right away. It doesn't take us that long to build a new airport, does it? Certainly a new strategy in promoting climate change as the fiscally responsible now thing to do. So the left is concerned about how much something is going to cost the government in the future, which is new. The climate changers should not lose too much sleep over this. The way parties and politicians have been switching sides, soon I'm expecting Mitch McConnell to be handing out scuba suits so everyone can get right to the problem. And he'll probably dump that entire $1.5 trillion into climate change research if times and people continue to change as much as they have.